Welcome everyone to the LFMS Marketing Symposium. I am so excited and honored today to have Rebekah Radice available to us and share her expertise on social media with us today. Social media is dear to my heart, and this amazing woman, I'm so honored that she took time out of her busy life to share with us some juicy tidbits today. So Rebekah, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. What an honor to be here with you.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. I know it's a fun time. It's summertime and we could be off at the pool or at the beach, but we're here today.
That's right. Yes.
Exactly. And so today Rebekah is going to be teaching us how to create the ultimate social media strategy for your business. And oh my gosh, there's so many platforms out there. So I'm really excited to dive in. But before we do, Rebekah, I like to do things a little bit differently. Instead of reading a boring bio, right? I mean, they're all great, but they're kind of boring. Why not ask you to share with us your story and how you turn into this magnificent online superstar and you teach women how to use social media for their business?
I like that. Well, my entrepreneurial roots, I can really take those all the way back to when I was a kid. I grew up in the LA area and was very fortunate to grow up in an area where we had a whole lot of fruit trees, probably 20 plus, yeah, different fruit trees. And at about age 8, I recognized that we had way more fruit than we could actually eat as a family, and that there was an opportunity. We had a big school right behind us. And so as you can imagine, it was pretty busy in the morning and then later in the afternoon. And I started my first little fruit stand when I was 8 years old and started selling lemons and oranges and avocados. And I really look back on those days of how excited I was that even if it was just a few bucks that I was making, that I could walk down the street to the store and buy myself a candy bar or whatever it was with my own money. And I think that's really what lit the fire in me to become what I now think is a serial entrepreneur, where it's just always really been within me to build something, grow something, and that passion transitioned into helping other people do the same exact thing within their business. And, so back in 2004 is really when social media and the online world, the light bulb within my own head really went off of, wow, I see this huge opportunity within the blogging space, which I don't even think we called it blogging at the time, to get my business out there in front of a whole new group of people. And so I started to blog, and then I moved into LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook over those next couple of years. And as I started to really understand the power behind social media to market my own business, I started training others to do exactly the same thing. And these were other entrepreneurs, other people that were launching a business, so maybe startups that were really trying to figure out, what is this new medium and how do I use it to get myself in front of the exact audience that I'm hoping to connect with? So a lot of it was born out of my love of not just the written word, but the spoken word, and seeing blogging as a big opportunity. And that really snowballed into social media and a passion for taking everything that I had learned and being able to help other people wrap their arms and their head around what definitely at the time felt like this beast. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's only gotten worse as we have more available to us. But that's kind of where it started. A little bit more about my background. I was in morning radio for about 10 years. So that's why I say both the spoken word as well as the written word is something that I just absolutely love, whether it's video, just like we're doing here, or podcasting, or writing on my blog. It's definitely been a foundational piece of my business.
Well, that's amazing. You have a great story, and I love that because I have a similar but different path. But I remember back in the day, 2002, 2004, the whole social media, the MySpace, all of it, and it was just so fun and exciting. And it was the wild, wild west back in the day, right?
Yes, exactly.
It So can you tell us, how does a business really build their brand using social media? I know that's a broad question, but still, for some of the women that are watching this symposium, they may have a big business, they may just be starting out, but it can be kind of scary to really dive deep into social media and know what you need to do with it and how it really can work for you.
Yeah, well, and I think that is probably one of the biggest questions I get asked. Where do I even start? And how do I know where my audience is spending their time? And I think that's a really great place to begin, is to do some research, understanding where is your audience hanging out. One of the biggest mistakes I see so many make is to just dive into those channels that you're currently using. So maybe you're comfortable with Facebook, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Twitter, it could be Snapchat, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's where your audience is spending their time. So some great places to start is research your competition. Take a look at your competitors. Where are they putting a lot of time and energy? And where are they getting the most interaction? So take a look at their pages on Facebook. Take a look at their profile. Yeah, over on Twitter, and do a little snooping around.
Right. That's fabulous. That's great advice. And I think sometimes people forget the basic stuff. So why do you think that a lot of businesses fail with social media?
Well, I think, first of all, it's not putting your time and your energy into the right place. And second, it's not really understanding who you're looking to connect with. So you jump in and you're very broad in your content, in your message. You're not singularly focused on who that person is that's actually going to buy from you. I think we get caught up in the fun of social media and the engagement and what those notifications do for us. Our brains just get so excited when we get those notifications of a like or a comment or a retweet. And we forget that as a business, that's not what it's all about. I mean, engagement is great, and it is a vital piece of social media, but really understanding who your audience is, what they're looking for from you. So when they hop online and they're looking for your product, your service, what is it that they need from you? And then how can you serve that up to them on a consistent basis? So really understand, get clear on who that person is, and then what exactly do they need from you? And then finally, how do you turn that into the format that they want to consume? Is it video? Is it text-based? Is it links? That's another really important piece. And again, if you're just getting started, look at your competition. There are clues within their success. You're going to start to see those themes of, well, they use a whole lot of visuals, so people really connect to their great graphics, or they're using a lot of video content. So you'll start to be able to see that, hey, rather than reinventing the wheel, I can pull from those ideas, certainly putting your own unique spin on it, but understanding what type of content your audience is looking for is really going to help you nail that down a whole lot faster than just throwing stuff out there and hoping it works.
Exactly, which brings me to my next question. I think this is so important. So say that you start doing that, you start to, let's pick Instagram for example, right? So you start using Instagram, you're starting to see some traction, you're starting to get followers. Say you have 4 or 5,000 followers, you've researched your competition, but now what do you do? How do you optimize it so that, you know, you're right on point, you're right on target, you're starting to get those leads?
Lots of different ways to optimize depending on the social network, but Instagram, for example, your profile is a huge area of opportunity. So making sure that your bio is super specific. You know, who is it that you're looking to help? So who is that exact person? What problems do you solve? And what is your specific solution? So how are you helping people every single day? Make it easy that as they land on your profile, that just within a matter of moments, they can self-select into, hey, I want to follow this person because this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Exactly, and that is absolutely key. And then the other thing that I think, and I heard this a lot too, and Rebekah, I would love your, you know, expertise on this. Where do you find inspiration for posts and for things to put out there? Because there's so much, it can almost be overwhelming, right? Like all the information coming at us. So how do you make that a simpler process?
There's a lot of different tools that will help you curate content. So depending on what type of content you're looking to share, tools like BuzzSumo are excellent curation tools. And what I mean by that is they're going out there and they're looking at content across the web, dependent on the industry, dependent on the niche. And then they are looking at the popularity of that content. So how well has it already performed on
Yeah.
Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on all of those social networks. So it really takes the guesswork out of, should I share this? Should I not? Are people even going to care about it? You can see whether or not it has performed well. Some other great tools, Pocket, Flipboard. So
Ooh, that.
whether you're on iOS or Android, those are both terrific, where you can save anything. So let's just say you're out across the web all day and you come across really great articles, but you don't have time right this second to read that. Well, you could put it into your Pocket account, or you could flip that into Flipboard, and you could save those and come back to those at a later time. And then use a tool like, say, Post Planner, or Buffer is a great tool, or Sprout Social, where you can schedule out that content and make it a little bit easier to stay consistent within social media.
I love, love, love those resources that you shared. Oh, wow, that's smart. So I think the next thing is, so you build a social media presence, you're on the right channels, the channels that you're, you know, targeted ideal clients on, but how do you turn those followers and those engagers into actual leads and then into clients?
Mm, that's the golden question, right? How do you actually move them from looky-loos into people that want to buy from you? And a lot of that is just back to the good old days of marketing. And so nurturing those relationships, share consistently that content that we were just talking about. You want to become that go-to resource. You want to become that person that is always top of mind and that they always think of because of your specific topic within your specific industry or niche. And you also want to give away so much value that people are like, oh my gosh, you know, this is amazing. If Angela is giving away this much free stuff, imagine the value when I pay for her product or for her service. So a lot of it comes in the form of nurturing and then in moving them along through their journey, through getting to know you a little bit better. So moving them into maybe a higher volume type of content, maybe it's an ebook or an infographic. Maybe it's a white paper that you've put together or a case study. So a little bit more detailed content that allows them to get to know your company, but also your thought process and your methodology. So if you're a business coach, this would be answering some of those big questions so people can really get inside of your head. And then, as I said, you just continue to move them along into that path of activation where now they're looking to actually make a decision, and you have created a scenario where they don't need to go anywhere else to get what they're looking for because they've already learned everything they need to know about you.
Exactly. And I love that. So one of the things, this is the biggest question, the biggest question that I get in the marketing space, and that is time. Where do I find time to do all of this, right? I mean, it all sounds great and wonderful, but at the end of the day, if you think about the women that are watching this, there's some that are running 7-figure businesses, there are some that are running 8-figure, and then there's women that are just doing this part-time and they have a regular job. How do you find time, especially if you're a solopreneur or you're just on that cusp of thinking about hiring people? What do you do?
Well, first of all, you make a commitment just like anything else within your business. So a meeting, you're going to put it in your calendar. You need to do the same thing with social media. Put 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at the end of your day to come in to all of your social networks. So if it's Instagram, Facebook, go check all of your notifications. One of the biggest mistakes is getting sucked into those notifications as they're happening. So schedule it into your calendar. Give yourself those 15 minutes to bookend your days to come in and say thank you, to interact, to respond. And then, as I said, use tools to schedule out content. So free yourself up. A lot of entrepreneurs will use the weekends to get all of their content into their that tool that they're using to schedule out content, so that's just consistently happening for them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then all they have to do is come in and engage and create those relationships. And I am a firm believer in automation and moderation. Utilize it to free yourself up so that you don't have to roll out of bed in the morning and go, oh, what am I going to post today? What am I going to put on Instagram or Facebook? So think ahead into what do you have coming up within your business? What are you launching? What is happening within your business that you need to prep for, and you need to think a week or 2 or 3 weeks ahead. Give yourself the freedom to create that ahead of time, get that into a system, into a tool that can help you consistently put that out there. And then all you have to do is come in and tell people thank you or respond to their questions. It really allows you to breathe in that situation instead of feeling like you're always back on your heels and you're in that defense mode instead of proactively using social media.
And that's fabulous. And I agree with that. It's really all about scheduling and tools. I think my last question, and this is huge, so you started around the same time I started in the whole marketing arena. And as we have moved along in the internet, it's gotten more and more well-known, and there's so many people coming online to build businesses, and even just regular consumers out there looking and using the internet as a tool. Like, it's commonplace now. How do you use social media to really social proof your business? How do you use it as a tool to grow larger and to make sure you're staying up in this space? Because it's going to become more competitive. It already has, right? What do you do? 5 years from now, things are going to be totally different. You need to make sure that you're staying up, your business, your brand is still really large, and you keep growing with it.
Yeah, and education and training is such a vital piece. Stay connected to people within your space. Pay attention to what those leaders, those influencers are doing within your space. How are they using Facebook, Instagram, how are they using those social networks to connect with their audience? And then stay up to date with each of those social networks. It doesn't mean you need to eat, sleep, and breathe it, because that obviously not realistic when you're running a business, but you do have to stay on top of what changes are happening within, say, Facebook pages or Facebook groups that are going to impact you. The beautiful thing about it, though, for the most part, is that once you start to get a rhythm, you can just keep doing what you're doing. There's going to be minor tweaks, but the biggest part is nailing down your tone, your voice, your message, and your content. So I just can't stress enough to really focus on honing those areas, and making sure that what you're bringing every single day is what your audience is looking for. And they're going to tell you that. You're going to see that immediately in how many likes and shares, and how many clicks on your content, and all of those free analytics that we have available to us in Facebook Insights, in Twitter Analytics, in Instagram. We just have so many different ways that we can track that data to really assess, is our content hitting the mark? So I would say, there's a couple of different ways, but really just stay on top where you can within your specific industry, because obviously the use of social media is a little bit different from one industry to the next.
Absolutely. And you're 100% right. Well, this has been an absolutely fabulous interview. And it's interesting that you said, stay in touch. And I'm just laughing because I was doing the very same thing last night. I love when new technology comes out. I mean, I'm a technology freak. I have to admit, I'm a big nerd. And I was learning about Facebook marketing with bots, the messenger bots.
Yes.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I'm really diving in and understanding, and we'll be able to use that in future marketing. So I love that. You're absolutely right, but it does take time. My husband's like, we need to go to bed. Put your computer down. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm so excited.
You and I sound like the same exact person, but I think that's a great point. Artificial intelligence, machine learning is going to radically change what social media looks like over the next several years, and marketing. And it doesn't mean that you need to be geeks to dive into it, but it does mean you need to figure out, how do I, or should I, utilize those tools like the bots, within your business. They can be fantastic for customer support, so many different ways, but I think you do have to be very realistic in assessing, is this a new, shiny object that I should be jumping on? And should I put my time and energy towards this, or should I stick with the tried and true that's working within my business right now?
Exactly. So one quick thing, Rebekah, before we sign off with the interview, I will have two things, but my last thing, and I always say my last thing, but it truly is if there was one thing that you could tell the listeners today that they could go do something simple in their business after watching this video, this interview, that they could go make and tweak in their business to make more impact, what would you suggest that might be?
I would streamline. So let's go do an audit. And I know audit sounds like a scary word, but you can do it really quick for all of your social networks. Go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go to Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you're spending time. And I want you to look at your bio. I want you to look at your picture. Is your picture professional? Is it consistent across all of your social networks? Are all of your links there? So have you given people ample ways to connect with you? Do you have your bio similar? So if there's specific things about you that they need to know to make a decision about you, have you shared that across every single one of your social networks? Too often I see where people have set up all of these different social networks at different times, and it's kind of a set it and forget it. They never come back and look at that consistency. Am I creating a uniform and streamlined feel so that as people are kind of poking around, are they easily able to identify me? I don't know how many times I've gone to find somebody And it's a different picture on every social network. And I'm like, oh, is this the same person? And
Right.
you don't want your audience to have to hunt and peck for you. So
No.
just look at those important things. Look at your bio, look at your picture, look at your links, and make sure that it's all consistent and all similar.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for that advice. Great advice. So I know you have a free gift that you would love to share with us, and I would encourage everyone to really take advantage of this. Rebekah is very, very versed in what she does, and I would love for you to become part of her tribe. She's amazing. So please share with us what your free gift is, Rebekah.
You know, Angela, I am totally blanking. Do you remember what we decided
I
on?
think it was a social media checklist that you have.
Ah, yes, that's right. Okay, so it's a daily social media checklist. This is A to Z, every social network, everything you should be doing every single day.
Woo!
Yeah, so instead of binging all over the place and wondering, should I be doing 5 things? Should I be doing 10 things on every social network? I give you just those bullet points. So boom, 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 every day. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to quickly ramp up that engagement we talked about. If you're looking to grow your followers, if you're looking to get more likes or retweets or shares on your content, every single one of these actions is designed to help you do exactly that. And what it does is it creates that consistency we've talked about, where instead of trying to remember all of those things you have to do every single day, it's just in a checklist format, and you can just go, boom, 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 check those off every day, and you will start to see that traction and that momentum quickly build.
Awesome. Thank you. And there will be a link for you all to click on and get Rebekah's free gift. So thank you, Rebekah. This has been absolutely amazing. And for all of you watching, I highly encourage you once again to go look up Rebekah. Rebekah, do you mind sharing your website so people can find you?
Yeah, website is RebekahRadice.com. And of course, my parents did not make it easy. My name is spelled a little bit different. It's Rebekah, but even if they spell it wrong, they'll still find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Rebekah. You've been amazing. The wealth of knowledge you have and the golden nuggets you've shared with all the LFM tribe. We so appreciate your time. And for those of you who are staying tuned, please stay tuned for our next LFM Marketing Symposium interview. Thank you, Rebekah.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here.